What is going on, guys and gals? It's your boy J Love coming at you with another video about non-CDL and CDL Hotshot. But before we get to this video, guys, I want to shout out my guy Kenneth. He's a super awesome dude. He works with RTS Financial Services. He can help you get a fuel card and factoring. I hate when people get taken advantage of. It happens all the time in trucking. So it's really important that you get a fuel card and a factoring that you trust, that doesn't have hidden fees, that doesn't have minimums, that doesn't have contracts, all of these dumb things that different companies do, so they can just squeeze as much money out of you. I love going with Kenneth because he does not have any of that. I also love going with Kenneth because he has he works for Ryan Transportation. He can get you set up with Ryan Transportation. They use brand new authorities. They have a load board eternally, which you can go on and you can look for freight. They're moving at least 10 to 15,000 pieces a month. Obviously not everything's going to be able to go on a Hotshot, but a lot can. So it's a super good opportunity for anybody who's first starting out. But let's get into the video. Okay, guys, in this video we're going to basically take a look at freight, talk about freight prices, talk about what you'll be seeing in different areas, talk about what freights you'll be looking at if you were non-CDL, if you were CDL, if you're a medium duty hauler, kind of the difference, and kind of see what you can expect if you haven't been able to be on a load board. If you guys don't know, I've been dispatching our trucks for the year that we've been open. I also run a dispatching company where we dispatch, do logistical services, mostly for new authorities. We help them get started, kind of help them learn the ins and outs of what they need to do day in and day out with BOLs, with taking pictures, with helping them cover their butt, as well as learning how to be an effective hotshot trucker. So let's go over some different areas, guys. So the first area I want to look at is Houston, Texas. A lot of you guys will work in Houston, Texas. Now, Houston, Texas is not a bad area. Definitely, it's not the best. The reason I say it's not the best is because there are so many hotshots, guys. A ton of hotshots. It's in Texas, obviously, so you're fighting everybody and their mom out there. But if you have the ability to haul more than 11,000 pounds, you definitely have an up on the competition because a lot of people down there are non-CDL. So a lot of these loads that are over, let's say, 11,000 pounds, you usually have a little bit more leeway. You can usually get the rates up a little bit higher, and you can go from there. So just taking a quick look at the board here, we have one load that would work. It looks like it's probably plastic piping because it's 44 feet, 14,000 pounds, but paying $2.11 a mile, going up to West Point, Nebraska. If we're going to Nebraska, obviously I want a little bit more on the rate because Nebraska's not the best area, but if I could get this for like 2,400, it's definitely a load that we would consider moving. Shark Logistics, Baytown, Texas, staying in Texas, 500 miles, $1.63 a mile, 11,500. Not that good, guys. We definitely want to get more on the rate there. But if you're a non-CDL guy, you might be able to get that for like $1.80 and make it work on your trailer or whatever. Here's a load, though. Houston, Texas, Kansas City, Missouri. I love Kansas City. Kansas City is a good area. Never had problems getting out or into Kansas City. I do not mind being there at all. It's close to home here. Not paying good at all, though. It's a non-CDL load for sure. And a lot of brokers nowadays know that if it's under 10,000 pounds, they can put it on these smaller trucks. And so they definitely pay less. So you can definitely see a change in how much they're paying based off of weight when it's 10,000 pounds or 12,000 pounds. But this one's only 7,000 pounds, paying $1.65 a mile. I mean, if I was going to move it on one of our trucks, I'd want to see at least $2 a mile on something like this. But if you can get this up to $1.80 or so as a non-CDL hotshot, it's definitely not a bad load. And it's going to an area that's pretty good. So you can definitely do that. But yeah, guys, I would say this area is pretty solid. You can see there's more loads being posted right now. And this is just on Hotshot. If I was actually looking at Houston, I would have Hotshot and flatbed step deck put up because you can haul a lot of flatbed step deck loads that fit on your trailer. But there's constantly loads being posted around Houston. Right now there's 30 active Hotshot loads, which if I saw the number 30 when I did the search, I would know that we were in a pretty okay area. Usually my thought process is if there's over 40 hotshot loads, we're in a really good area. 20 to 40 is an okay area. Under 20, you're probably going to struggle a little bit trying to get out. But yeah, guys, Houston, not a bad area. Next, let's go to an area that's pretty trash, and that's Las Vegas, Nevada. If you guys don't know, I used to live close to Las Vegas, Nevada. We used to try to leave out of Las Vegas all the time, but never really worked for us. But if you look, guys, there's really only 2 loads posted. The other 2 loads have been on the board for over 9 hours, so chances are they're gone. Smart Talk Transport right here. This would be the only load that I would be like, yes, let's run it. Las Vegas to Livermore, California. 24 feet though, 16,000 pounds. Definitely some sort of heavy machinery. Probably leaving out of the the fetching Ritchie Brothers auction, I bet. 16,000 pounds, so you definitely have to be a CDL holder. I'm getting $222 a mile going to California. Obviously, I try to get about $1,400 on that, but if I got $1,400 on that, it'd be a pretty solid load. We'd definitely move it. But yeah, I got $2 a mile going to Aurora, Colorado. They haven't posted this Hotshot, but they do have the length of 48 feet. Like I said, guys, some brokers are lazy. They don't change the dimensions. I would definitely call on this and be like, hey, what's popping? You have some deadhead, though, so really you're not getting $2 a mile. You're going to Denver, Colorado. Not the best area at all. We're about to look at it right now. So for $2 a mile, I wouldn't say it's worth it, but if you're a non-CDL guy and you can get a couple more $100 out of it, and you're in Las Vegas and need to get the heck out of Dodge, something you can definitely think about taking. But like I said, guys, Las Vegas, not really good area. If I was in this area and I saw the lack of freight, I would definitely have to put on flatbed step deck. I would be calling a lot of these brokers and just being like, hey, what freight do you have? Do you have anything popping up? I have a guy ready to go. Let's do it, right? But there wouldn't be much negotiation going on here just because I bet there's a lot of trucks in Las Vegas right now just sitting and waiting. And they know that. They know there's not much freight there. So they're able to hold on to a lot of the money because they know people are just trying to leave. Because it's literally is book a load or get the heck out of Dodge type of deal, right? So there's that. So let's go over to Denver, Colorado. Funny thing is, Ray's actually going to Denver, Colorado right now. Oh. It's not that funny. But let's refresh it and see what happens. So good old Denver. Good old Denver. Okay. So as you can tell, Denver doesn't really have any loads at all right now for Hotshot. Like I said, Ray's going to be going to Denver, but we still have some time, so we have tomorrow as well. But really right now it only has 3 loads posted. 2 of those loads are over 9 years old. So what I would do in this area right now, if I pulled this up and it looked like it, I would edit the search. I would add flatbed step deck. And then I would increase my range to probably 175 miles. Because I have nothing against nothing against deadhead as long as the rate covers the deadhead, and I'm still making a good rate overall. No problem at all. So now we got 41 loads, guys. Some of these, like this is posted as a flatbed load, but it would fit on a Hotshot going to North Dakota, though. I don't want to go to North Dakota. Something like this right here, that's the one we looked. Going to Steamboat Springs, that's in the middle of nowhere as well. This is a load that we probably would not take, but we would definitely look at it, maybe give a call and try to get a lot more on the rate for it. Because if we could get that over, it's a F650 cash on delivery. If we can get that over, $2 a mile, and we need to get out of Dodge, like that's something we'd definitely be interested in. But yeah, guys, there's some loads right now. After we do the flatbed step deck, we got some stuff pulled up, some smaller stuff. And when you're in these areas, you might have to start piecing together partials. You might not find this. Here's something going to Oklahoma. I mean, it's far from you, but it's heavy though. You're not pulling that. Most Hotshots aren't pulling that. But yeah, guys, there's just not much in Denver. But let's go over to a really good area. Back to another good area, Chicago, Illinois, guys. I love Chicago. I've been in Chicago a lot. I just love being there. There's a ton of freight there. As you guys can see, there's 145 loads posted for today only. Well, some of them are different. Mostly all today. I have it set for today out of the Chicago area. So if I was in Chicago, guys, what I would do if I pulled this up and I saw a ton of freight, I would kind of skim through it. And if I found something gold, I would call on it, like this one right here. University Park, Illinois, above for Georgia, paying $344 a mile, $2,500, 700 miles, 11,000 pounds. Say no more. 5 stops though, so you open it, and then you're like, crap. Okay, let me make sure how many stops can we do in one day? What's the actual distance on it? Make sure it's worth it. But there, I'd skim through this and look through that right here. Illinois is going to Pennsylvania for $337 a mile. That's something I'd be on all day, every day, right? Too bad I got nobody in Chicago right now. But if you skim through them and you're seeing a lot of good ones, but you're really, really wanting the gold, I would post your truck up, guys. Post your truck on Truck Stop. You go over to this tab right here. You go down to posting. Oh, no, I messed up. Everyone go back. Sorry. Intermission. You go down to posting, guys. Post trucks. You'll see that I posted the truck before. We're in different areas that I liked. But you post your truck up, you say, hey, I'm here, ready to go, and then brokers can see that and they'll call you. And they'll definitely call you because they have 146 loads that need to be moved. So they're going to call you, and this is only the Hotshot. If I put flatbed step deck, we'd probably be over 200. And this is only for today. So they probably call you and be like, hey, I got this load, let's hit it, I need somebody to cover it right now, and you'll be like, cool, how much you paying? They'll tell you they're probably paying $250 a mile on it, because, there's a lot of loads, but you can get more money out of them because they need you. Supply and mother flipping demand. I remember one time I was dispatching for Carlos, and we were trying to get a big over the weekend load, and this lady calls, and she has a short, 250 mile load. And she's like, they were paying good on it though. I think they were paying like $950 on it, $950. So already it was over $3 a mile. But I told her, I was like, I don't think it's a bad load. I think you're paying good. But really, we are looking for a big over the weekend load. We want to make at least $1,500 over the weekend. And she's like, oh, I can't do that. But I knew supply and demand. There was a lot of loads on the board. She gave us a call back in about 4 minutes. She's like, do you still have that truck? And I was like, yeah. She's like, you still want $1,500? I said, yeah. And we were able to book it at $1,500 on like 250 miles. So supply and demand, guys, is the biggest factor in a lot of this. If you're in Chicago, you have a lot of demand, like a demand for trucks and supply of freight. If you're in Las Vegas, you have a demand for freight and supply of trucks. So Las Vegas would not be the place to be right now. Chicago definitely would. And then let's go over to another area, Detroit, Michigan. I like Detroit a lot. So Detroit has 42 loads, not as much as Chicago, but I would still classify this as a good area, guys. This would be an area where I would post my truck up as well. Usually a lot of good shorter freight coming out of Detroit, going like, under 600 miles. But there's good freight all day over here, guys. There's Green Tree right here, Farmington, Michigan, to Milford, Massachusetts. If you want to go to Massachusetts, 12,500 pounds though, $1,600 or $2.24 a mile. So I mean, you can get that up a little bit too. Here's $3.24 a mile going to Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's something I'd mess with all day, every day. A lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff here, but obviously that's 18,000 pounds. You know what I'm saying, guys? A lot of stuff is not going to be non-CDL hotshot freight. Like, we can just make a change real quick to Detroit, Michigan to show you guys what non-CDL would look like. So let's say you can do 11,000 pounds. I got 26 loads, so it takes about 16 loads off the board, and a lot of these are going to be double posted. Like, this is just double posted, same load. But still, guys, I mean, look, most of it's under $2 a mile. You do have this one, 48,000 pounds. That's a good load by JB Hunt. That's something I'd be about for sure. Going to Nashville, I'd love to go to Nashville. But a lot of the stuff, guys, is under $2 a mile. You'll have like these killer baller ones every now and then. You need to hop on these. This is email only. I probably wouldn't mess with it too much. But this one I would be all about. JB Hunt, I'd be about it all day, every day. I'd be like, give me that mother flipper type of deal right there. I'd still get about $100 more on it though, all day, every day. But yeah, guys, let's go to Chicago. We can change Chicago's. Edit search. Let's go ahead and drop it to 11,000 pounds. 98 loads instead of 100 and whatever it was. So you still have, it was 141, now it's 98. So you still have some loads, guys. A lot of these are double booked, right? Like a double posted, I mean. But you can get out a lot of these, though, not over $2 a mile. Some of them are, though, like right here, $2.41 a mile. But it's a shorter run, though. It's only $500, so not really worth it. $2 a mile, $2.06 a mile, $700. So there's some freight here for sure in Chicago, guys. But I would say the biggest plus about being CDL and being able to haul more weight is when you're in like Las Vegas or when you're in Denver, Colorado. And guys, you're not always going to be in Chicago. You're not always going to be in Houston. You're not always going to be in Detroit. Like, you're going to find these good loads that are going to take you to trash areas, and you're going to take them because you're like, I'm going to send it. I need this money, right? And you're going to go to Denver, Colorado, and you're going to go to Montana, and you're going to go to Washington, and you're going to go to Las Vegas, and you're going to hope and pray that you can move something while you're there, you know? But I'd say a good range, guys, to think about freight is if you're a non-CDL hotshot, I'd say your range of rates are going to go from $1.80 a mile to $2.20 a mile is where I would want to be as a non-CDL hotshot, averaging $2 a mile with a 40-foot trailer, obviously. If you're doing like just a CDL hotshot, kind of a normal CDL hotshot, I would say anywhere from $2 a mile to $2.50 a mile is about where your range is going to be usually. Your average about $2.25 a mile. And then if you're doing mega, medium duty hauling, maybe a 48-foot deck or a single axle truck, you're probably going to range anywhere from $2.50 a mile to $3 a mile, average of like $2.70 a mile. I think is about where it would be, guys. With Ray, he has a 40-foot trailer. He can haul about 20,000 pounds. We average about $2.30 per mile as our average. Obviously, we have bangers that are $3 a mile, $3.50 a mile, a lot at $2.60, $2.70 a mile, but we also do have a lot at $2 or $2.10 a mile, $2.15, $2.20 a mile. So we usually average anywhere from like $2.30 $2.30 a mile, $2.40 per mile, and we're consistently around that range, which I think is the most important thing, guys. You can like pick baller loads up in these really good areas like Chicago, but the sad thing is you have to leave Chicago. You're not going to deadhead back to Chicago to pick something else up. So you need to be consistent and have a system that consistently puts you in these areas to get the best loads possible. But also, because the minute you book a load, guys, it doesn't matter how many other good loads are in Chicago. It does not matter, because you're leaving. You're out. You're gone. You're gone, because you need to make sure that you can get a load in the next place, and it just never stops from there, guys. But I want to make this quick video, guys. I hope you could learn something about freight. I hope you can kind of see the boards a little bit on my end, and kind of see what I look at every day and what I have to sift through to find all the gold. But I love you guys so much. I thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great day. And by the way, if you need a dispatcher, hit me up. Deuces.